Peace party people. Y'all know this is dropping it. Throughout the course of the 1960s, black people worked in solidarity against the oppressive systems of Jim Crow. Jim Crow is a collection of laws designed to create a separate but equal status among blacks, mostly in the southern region of the United States. Although most southern states were aggressive in enforcing these laws, northern states also had a system in place similar. During the times of Jim Crow, blacks weren't allowed to share bathrooms, water fountains, they weren't allowed to enter the front door of white-owned businesses, weren't allowed to eat at the same establishments, shop at the same stores, and was often separated on buses and trains. Black people marched in the streets in protest of these unjust laws and were often beaten, killed, had dogs sicked on them, or were sprayed with water hoses. We had brilliant leaders in the black community that spoke out against these atrocities. Often these leaders was ridiculed, jailed, and sometimes murdered. It's important to note that there were also many black businesses in the communities. These mom and pop businesses were elite to the black man and woman here in America because they offer refuge from the Jim Crow barriers. Many blacks were killed or injured trying to create change in the system. The U.S. Marshals was often called out to assist blacks who tried to desegregate many public schools and institutions of higher learning. Martin Luther King often spoke of this dream of integrating with others and living in peace. Unfortunately, he never lived long enough to see this dream manifested. Looking back at the whole civil rights era, I often wonder what good has actually come out of it. Because of integration, most of the mom and pop businesses that were thriving in the black community started disappearing. Blacks abandoned these businesses once they were finally able to shop freely at white-owned businesses. During the famous Montgomery bus boycott, popularized by Rosa Parks' refusal to give up her seat to a white person, the city buses were crippled in revenue as blacks walked, carpooled, or rode their bikes. This demonstrated our economic power. Whites also recognized that segregation wasn't profiting them, as blacks supported the businesses in their community. Desegregation actually was to the benefit of white businesses. Blacks were euphoric over being able to finally support these businesses without recourse. What we didn't realize at the time was how this was crippling our community business centers. Blacks made these white-owned businesses that previously discriminated against them conglomerates. The mostly white colleges and universities made millions off from black students excited to finally be able to enroll there. Keep in mind there were plenty of historically black universities around. Our excitement to be around these racist white people also weakened our solidarity among each other. As blacks, we should have used this opportunity to establish our own community and economic resources. If any of our leaders who gave their lives towards this effort were alive today, they would be disappointed. Many leaders who spoke of separating us and creating our own state was often ridiculed and called racist, sometimes even by their own people, not realizing that these strategies served as a blueprint for success. Even today, many blacks do not support black-owned and operated businesses. Integration has psychologically poisoned us that we often accuse black businesses of unethical practices. We levy complaints also against white businesses, yet we still patronize them. It's been widely noted that blacks spend a lot of money in the U.S., more than any other group, although we still consider a minority here. I would be deceiving you if I didn't think that some integration was necessary. However, I ask you, has integration made us better off once you look at the big picture? Now, in conclusion, I'm going to say this, right? That while we were sitting at places like Woolworths and all these places, and they was beating us on our head, telling us to get the hell out, and they wasn't serving us, that was our time to create our own Woolworths. and make our own black-owned businesses and stuff, conglomerates. Black people, think of how rich we have made these racist white folks who didn't give a damn about us, in the first place, and wanted us to come in the back doors of the establishments. Couldn't come in the front door. We had to use separate restrooms and all this kind of stuff. Yet, we integrated with these people and have made them rich. When they didn't let us ride in the front of the bus, that was our opportunity to create our own bus lines. Yet we failed to do so. I can't tell you how many times we done heard people, white folks who have established businesses, like Gloria Vanderbilt, like Tommy Hilfiger, like Chris Style, and all these places, that once we supported them, they'd say, hey, look, we don't give a shit about you. We never made our clothes for your ass, no way. Yet, we have many black designers, and all they stuff just, for some reason, they go out of business or they become unpopular. So, I say to you, right? Are we going to continue making their ass rich and giving them all the dough while they disrespect us? Are we going to continue doing that foolishly? Not me. Support black owned and operated businesses. And on that note, I teach and I don't preach. Peace.